You've got 3 seconds. That's how long a shopper gives your product attention before decides to buy it or just walk right past it. And if your design isn't built on a clear packaging framework, those 3 seconds will cost you thousands. If you're new here, I am Gia. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact product packaging framework I use. The same one that helped my brand go from just an idea in the kitchen to sitting on the shelves of over 1,000 retail stores. We'll talk about the 3-second rule, the 4 essential elements every front label absolutely needs, and a few details that most people overlook that really make your packaging stand out and actually drive sales. So grab a coffee, let's sit down and jump in. Okay. Picture this. You are walking down a grocery aisle. You're tired, you're hungry, you've got maybe a couple minutes to grab a sauce for dinner tonight. You look up, and there are hundreds of options staring back at you. Bright colors, fonts, different shapes and sizes everywhere. What makes you stop? What makes you actually reach out and pick something up? That's the 3-second rule. And I'm not exaggerating. Research showed that shoppers only give your product about 3 seconds before they decide to either pick it up or keep on walking. So 3 seconds. That's it. The style and design of your packaging is what attracts the consumer's attention and earns you those golden 3 seconds in the first place. So before you even start working with a designer, do some market research. Go to the store, standing in front of the shelf where your product was set, and look at what your competitors are doing. If all the competing brands on the shelf are screaming bold colors like bright reds, electric yellow, neon greens, you might want to consider going minimalistic. Simple, white space, because that contrast will make you stand out, and vice versa. Now, here's the thing. Getting attention is only the first step. Just because someone noticed your product doesn't mean they're going to buy it. Your front label is going to do the next job, which is convey who we are, what we are, and why you should buy it in an instant. I like to think about your front label as a storefront. You know, where you are walking down a street and you see a shop, and within seconds you should know if it's a coffee shop, is it a restaurant, or is it like a clothing boutique, is it a bookstore. That's what your front label needs to do. If your storefront doesn't tell people what you sell and why it matters, they'll just keep on walking. Let's break down that storefront. Let's talk about what actually needs to be on your front label. There are 4 elements every great front label should include. And if you're missing even one of those, you're probably leaving money on the table. First, your logo. This is what builds recognition over time. People might not remember your name the first time they see you, but if your logo is strong and consistent, they will start recognizing it. Keep it simple. People might not remember your name the first time they see it, but if your logo is strong and consistent, they'll start recognizing it. So keep it simple, high contrast, and make sure it's readable from 6 feet away. Because remember, people are walking past your product, not standing in front of it, studying it like a piece of art. Second, your product name. So this is huge. Make sure people can actually say it, understand it. I learned this the hard way. When I first launched my brand, Hotpot Queen, one of my products is called Chongqing Chili Crisp. And I love that name because it's authentic, it's where the recipe is coming from, it's also my hometown. So it is meaningful to me. But here is the problem. Most Americans couldn't pronounce it. They'll stand in the aisle and look at it and just like, I don't even know what it is. So I changed it to Crunchy Garlic Chili Crisp. Same product, same recipe, but now people could say it. They could picture it. And guess what? Sales triple overnight. Literally. So your product name should be simple, clear, and easy to understand. Don't make people guess it. Third is a visual cue. So this is an image or illustration that instantly tell people what your product is. Our human brain responds way better with image than words. It processes faster. For food, you might consider adding a picture of how this product looks like, especially for a niche product. And fourth, the call-outs. Those are your selling points, the things that make your product different. Think non-GMO, organic, small batch, no MSG, ready in 5 minutes, etc. I call those your storefront window signs. You know, when you walk past a store, they have those big posters in the window that says sale or new arrivals. That's what those calls are. They tell people, hey, this is why you should care. So if you're missing any of those 4 elements, you're probably losing sales before a customer even picks up your product. And that's a shame because you work so hard to get it there. All right, I'm gonna give you a real example of what I went through very recently. About a month ago, I worked with Anna Ilsen, a CPG designer, and Richard Mondes, who runs a company called Rich Insights. So they use a webcam-based eye tracking to test and improve packaging designs. So basically, they will recruit hundreds of people online and track through their webcam exactly where they look and for how long. So we use this method to test my noodle packaging to see if shoppers would quickly tell what the product was and what made it different. They wanted some case study and I wanted to see if my packaging was actually effective. Perfect match. And the results were really interesting. I often get compliments on how beautiful our branding and packaging is, and that actually showed up in the eye tracking result. It only took about 1.8 seconds for shoppers to notice our product, which is pretty good compared to other brands. So the bold and fun design really does capture consumers' attention. But, and this is a big but, the shoppers might be noticing our product, but they don't understand what it was. The results show that no single element was noticed by more than a third of the shoppers in 3 seconds. And according to the study, this is indicative of a complex design that distracts from noticed key elements. So people will look at it for a second, feel confused, and move on. That's when it clicked for me. Beautiful design might grab attention, but clarity drives conversion. So then we show shoppers another design of the same product, one I had made specifically for a Costco application. Oh, and by the way, if you want to know the process of getting your product into Costco, click this link right here. All right, so the result of the new packaging design were so much more positive. Shoppers were able to comprehend within half a second what this product was about. So the lesson here is this. You can have the most gorgeous, Instagram-worthy packaging in the world, but if customers can tell within seconds what your product is and why it's different, they're gonna move on. Because they're not here to solve a puzzle, they're here to buy dinner. So here's a tip that I use all the time now. When you're testing your packaging, you should absolutely be testing it before you print 10,000 units. Maybe ask 5 people who don't know your brands to look at it for just 3 seconds. Then cover it up and ask them, what is this product? What stood out to you? If they can't answer quickly and confidently, your design is working too hard on looking pretty and not enough on being clear. So we talk about how your packaging looks, but here's something a lot of people don't think about. Great packaging isn't just about how it looks, it's also about how it works. Because functionality can be a huge selling point. Sometimes it's the thing that makes people choose your product over a competitor's. So let me give you some real life examples. Hank's ketchup bottle. They literally flip the bottle upside down so the ketchup sits on the cap. No more banging the bottom trying to get the ketchup out. That design became their competitive advantage. Tic Tacs have their little flip-top dispenser that give you 1 minute at a time. It's clean, it's precise, and honestly, it's kind of satisfying to use. Pringles come in the iconic tube. Yes, it's recognizable, but it also protects the chips from getting crushed. Genius. So here is one from my world. A lot of yogurt in Asia comes with a foldable spoon hidden inside of the cap. you can enjoy that store-bought yogurt right after purchase, even if you forget to ask cashier to give you one. So those small touches really show empathy. They show that you thought about your customer's experience beyond just the moment they buy your product. All right, so you nailed the clarity and functionality, and only after you've nailed those two things, then you can think about how to add some personality and backstory to tell consumers more about your brand. This could be a quirky tagline, a short brand story, and even a hidden message that makes people smile when they find it. For example, Justin's Peanut Butter writes this on the back of their label. This product is not the bee's knee. I don't know who is spreading such vicious rumors, but I'm tired of the heartless accusation. I assure you, my honey peanut butter is made with only the finest, most responsible source honey. Well, anyway, you can read the rest of this label yourself. It's playful, it's weird, and it feels human. It makes you feel like there's actually a person behind this brand. So people don't just buy products, they buy stories, they buy connections. So if you give them a little window into who you are and why you made this, it goes a long way. So to wrap up, remember this. Your packaging is your first impression. It's your storefront. It's your best salesperson when you're not there to pitch your product yourself. In 3 seconds, you need to grab attention, communicate clearly, be functional, and tell a story that sticks. When you get those 4 things right, your product doesn't just sit on the shelf collecting dust. It sells itself. If you found this useful, hit the subscribe button and share this video with another founder who is working on packaging right now. I promise you'll save them a lot of headaches. And if you want another proven way to drive sales in stores, check out my video on 5 in-store sampling strategies that actually sell. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.